Some women wonder why their relationships lack that spark, or why they're attracting emotionally unavailable men, or why they're attracting no men at all. And while it's easy to think that it's just bad luck, sometimes it does come down to the little habits that push connection away without you even realizing it. The good news is that awareness is everything. Once you recognize these patterns, you can shift them and start attracting the type of relationship and the type of partner you actually want. So today, let's talk about 5 habits that high-value men find wildly unattractive and what to do instead. Hey friend, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self, live their best life. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. And in case you want more from me though, besides just my YouTube videos, you can also check out my deep dive feminine energy course or any of my other digital products like my best-selling Notion template. They are always linked down below. Now, you've probably noticed that some women seem to effortlessly attract men and end up in relationships that feel easy and supportive and connected, while others find themselves stuck in a dry spell and really struggle to attract and keep the kind of guy that they want. And if you've ever wondered why that is, it might not be just bad luck. There might be things that you're doing that accidentally push him away. And sure, it takes two to build a good relationship, absolutely. And sometimes the man is the problem. But the thing is that we can't control what someone else does. What we can control is how we show up in relationships, right? The energy we bring, the patterns we've learned and maybe need to unlearn. And let's be clear, this channel's for the girlies, not really for the boys. And so that's why in this video, we're going to talk about the things that we might be doing to either push good men away or to cause our relationships to suffer. So if you're someone who wants to attract a healthy masculine partner, someone who leads, protects, provides, and actually pursues and adores you, then this video is for you. Because when you start shifting these patterns, everything changes. So let's get into it. Here are 5 habits high-value masculine men find wildly unattractive and what to do instead. Now, first up, let's talk about something that might sound familiar. The I don't need anything habit. You know what I mean, this type of woman. Oh, I've got it. I don't need any help. I can handle it myself. Yes, having some independence is important. You should be able to take care of yourself and be a self-sufficient adult, absolutely. But if you're so self-sufficient that you never let anyone actually help you, what you're doing is actually pushing connection away. It sends the message that there is no room for him in your life, and it closes you off from masculine energy. Because here's what a lot of women don't understand. Masculine men need to feel like they are adding value. They want to feel useful. They want to feel needed. That's what makes them feel purposeful in a relationship, not taken advantage of. Not used, but useful. And there is a difference. And they want to be appreciated for those things. And when a man feels good around you, when he feels like you actually see what he brings to the table, like his help is appreciated, it activates something in him. It pulls him closer. It builds that energy of pursuit. And when you're the one making him feel that way, that's when he becomes more attracted to you and wants more of you. That's how relationships really work, right? Does this person make me feel good? If every time that you were with a man, you felt worse about yourself, then you would start pulling back from him, right? Ideally, you would start pulling back from him. But if every time you were with him, you felt beautiful, confident, safe, taken care of, you'd want more. It's not just because you love him, it's because you also love the way you feel around him. It's the same for men. It's just that masculine men want to feel something a little bit different than you do in relationships. He doesn't necessarily want to feel safe and taken care of in the way that you do. He wants to feel like he is adding value. He wants to feel like a man. And when you have open, gracious energy, when you let him add value to your life, when you let him in that way, it makes him feel like a man. But when you brush off the little things like getting help carrying something or having him fix something or him opening the door for you, it slowly and subtly sends the message that there's no space for you here. Or worse, I don't really need you. And you might not even realize you're doing it. You might just think that you are just being polite and you're trying to be low maintenance. But what's actually happening is that you're cutting off the polarity, because remember, masculine energy wants to give, it wants to support. But if you're constantly operating in that same energy, doing, fixing, leading, controlling, then there's no energetic pull. He doesn't feel like there's a role for him. And he might not consciously realize or consciously understand why he's not feeling that connection with you, but he will start pulling back a little bit or losing interest. And I want to be clear, this isn't about like pretending to be helpless or playing dumb just so that you can get a man to help you and make him feel good. This is about creating space for partnership, It's about letting someone in. It's about allowing things to be easier sometimes and allowing someone to help you. That addiction to control, because let's be real, that's often what this is it's an addiction to control. It's exhausting. It's not making you feel powerful like you thought it would. It's making you feel alone. It's creating a block in your romantic life. And if you want a man to show up and step up and be there for you, you have to make the space for it. And that is never going to happen if you keep making it impossible for him to do so. Another habit that is unattractive and pushes him away is having this low-key energetic harshness. And I'll explain what I mean. I'm not talking about yelling or being mean, although obviously that's not good for a relationship and that's not gonna be very helpful. I'm talking about when a woman has that quiet underlying vibe of bitterness, resentment, irritability, criticism, the kind of energy that lives in your body language, your tone, your face, your energy, even when you're saying nice things. That energy repels connection. And here's the tricky part. You might think that you're just being real. You're not faking anything. You're being honest about what's bothering you. But there is a difference between being real and being chronically harsh. And there is a difference between having emotions and living in a baseline state of judgment, contempt, and frustration. But if that harshness is your default state, a masculine man is not going to be drawn into that, okay? But I want to clarify something. You know that saying that a lot of people say, if you want to be, his amazing, wonderful, feminine woman, then you should, quote, be his peace. While that sounds nice, I think it can be a little bit misleading. Trying to just be his peace can turn women into people pleasers who suppress themselves just to make someone else feel comfortable. And that is not a healthy or ideal relationship. That is not a relationship that you are going to enjoy being in. What masculine men actually want, though, is to feel a sense of warmth and softness from you. Not perfection, not fake peace, but softness, openness, playfulness, a certain emotional accessibility. If your energy feels constantly irritated, defensive, or just a little bit hostile, even in subtle ways, if this is a constant thing, then he is just not going to feel that desire to connect with you, to pursue you, to adore you. And he won't naturally feel inclined to give you that princess treatment. But here's the thing though, it's not just about faking good energy and faking softness and warmth and positivity. If you are living your life as a woman, as your own woman, from this place of energetic harshness and irritability and criticism and hostile energy, that is miserable for you. If that is the filter in which you look through life, then everything will feel miserable for you. Those types of people always have problems, right? So it's not just about doing this for a man. It's that when you are in the best energy for yourself, that is when you become the most attractive. And I also want you to think about this, especially if you are already in a relationship with someone, okay? Whenever something happens, do you just assume that he did something wrong or that he messed up in some way? It might be yes, but what I'm asking is, do you lead with blame, criticism, or suspicion before you even have the full story? Because if so, you are pushing him away. If you always talk to him with that underlying harshness, resentment, coldness, critical energy, you are going to push him away. He will not want to keep pursuing you. Right? Remember, when a man feels good in your presence, that is when he will want to be around you more and more, right? This is how relationships work. If you are quick to knock him down without fully knowing the full story, you will lose that sense of connection. And whether this is a first date or you've been married for 20 years, this is the truth. It will never change and it'll always ruin that attraction and that connection. Now, this kind of energy tends to show up in women who are, yes, more in their masculine energy, but also just more go, go, go. Women who don't allow themselves to rest. Women who don't prioritize having fun in their lives. And especially women who don't feel emotionally safe within themselves. And that's the shift when you start creating more peace and softness for yourself, not for someone else, for yourself. Because that's what you know you deserve. Your whole energy changes. You naturally feel lighter and happier and more relaxed and more magnetic, and that is so attractive. You don't have to force it, that's just how you show up. Think about the last time you felt truly relaxed, or the last time you had real fun, the kind that makes you laugh until your face hurts or lose track of time because you're so present in the moment. That is the energy that men are drawn to. not fake perfection, not forced peace or being the perfect Stepford wife, but the joy and softness of a woman who actually genuinely enjoys her life and genuinely loves herself. That kind of energy is magnetic, not just to men, but to everyone. Now, next, so many women kill the vibe with this next habit without even meaning to. And it's when you ever so subtly complain or comment about like little things, even if you think that you are just making an observation. Let's say, for example, that a guy plans a dinner date for you and he takes you to the restaurant. And when you show up, the first thing that you say is, "Ooh, it's kind of crowded in here." Or, "Oh, wow, it's freezing. Oh, this menu is interesting." You didn't mean to be rude. You didn't say, "This sucks, why did you take me here?" But what he hears is you didn't do a good job. And what he feels is, "I failed." And masculine men don't stick around in dynamics where they feel like they are constantly failing. This is something that so many women do without even realizing it and without even having any bad intentions. Oftentimes they may just be, trying to make an observation. But if the subtle commentary and these subtle complaints, if they are chronic, it can be incredibly draining. And it can make a man feel like no matter what he does, it's never enough. And like he can't win. And if he feels like he can never win with you, he will just stop trying. So this isn't about never expressing your feelings, but you have to understand that masculine men thrive off of appreciation, right? Feminine women thrive off of praise. Masculine men thrive off of appreciation. They want to show up for you. They want to make you happy. But if your default is to lead with this low-level criticism, even the just being honest kind of comments, you train him to pull back, because if nothing he ever does makes you happy, then why would he want to do more? And while we're here though, let's talk about not using him as an emotional trash can, okay? It's obviously a good idea to express our feelings and communicate all of that. But there is a difference between sharing your feelings and just dumping an entire day on your partner without any self-awareness, right? And remember, masculine men want to fix things. They are solution-oriented. They want to help. It's part of how they show love. So if, let's say, every night at the dinner table or on every single date that you guys go out on, you are just subtly complaining about your job every single time. Well, if that just is constant and you don't ever do anything to change that, you don't take any responsibility for that, or for the things that you are struggling with or complaining about, if you're not actually opening to him actually helping you with the situation ever, then basically you're just putting him in this impossible situation where he can't win, he can't help you, he can't fix things. Now, what I'm saying is that you are absolutely allowed to express what's going on in your head and in your heart, but you also have to take responsibility for your life and for your own regulation, right? He is not a punching bag. He is not an emotional trash can. He is your partner. A high quality masculine man wants to support you. But if your energy makes him feel like he's constantly failing and nothing is ever enough and he can never help the situation, or there will always be something to complain about, then he will just stop showing up. Now, this next habit is especially important in dating, like when you're on those first initial days, because this is something that makes sense on the surface, but it actually pushes masculine men away. And that is leading with your resume. For example, you're on a date and you really like this guy and you want to impress him, but instead of trusting that simply being yourself and being happy and enjoying yourself and being present in the moment is enough, it starts to feel like you are running through your LinkedIn profile. I have 2 degrees. I just got promoted. I volunteer on the weekends. And here's the thing with that. Obviously, those things are great. Those are awesome. And you think that you're just sharing your value. But what a lot of women don't realize is that men, especially masculine men, are not making romantic decisions based off of your accomplishments. Now, women often do factor in accomplishments when choosing a partner, and this is not superficial. Let me tell you exactly why this is and why we do this. One thing that the feminine energy is looking for specifically in a relationship is safety and stability in a partner. And what tends to signal safety and stability in today's world? Does he have a good job? Did he go to a good university? Is he intelligent? Is he accomplished? Or does he have his own successful business, right? These things tell us, you know what, in times of challenge, I think that this man is gonna hold it down. I feel like I can trust him to keep us safe, and especially if I choose to have children with this man. And if I'm gonna step into that more vulnerable role, I need to know that he's not gonna drop the ball and put our family at risk. Men are not looking for this because we look for different things in romantic partners. Now, again, obviously, whoever you are in a relationship with right now, or whoever you end up being with someday, they absolutely should be so proud of you for your accomplishments, and they should absolutely support you in that. And if they don't, that is a red flag, right? Then they need to go. But men are not assessing your accomplishments for romantic compatibility. Masculine men aren't looking for a woman who brings safety, at least in the way that we are looking for, right? They are looking for a woman that brings life, joy, fun, warmth, depth, passion, softness, sensuality, presence, right? They want to see what lights you up, not what's on your resume. And that is how he bonds with you. And that is how he falls for you. A lot of women lead with their resumes because we have been conditioned to believe that our value is directly tied to what we do and what we accomplish. Or it's a subtle way that we are trying to prove that we are enough. But too much of this energy blocks your feminine charm and what naturally makes you magnetic. The way you light up when you talk about something you're passionate about. The way you laugh when you make a silly joke. The way you tell stories and get lost in the moment. That is the energy that's magnetic. And of course, just to clarify, this does not mean that you need to hide or downplay your accomplishments in any way, especially if you are a successful woman. Please don't do that. It just means that when it comes to attraction and dating, this isn't LinkedIn. It's meant to be fun. Now, this last one is really important, especially in today's modern dating world, because I have seen just in the past 5 years or so, how much more of a problem this has become. We are living in a time where men and women feel like they are on complete opposite teams, right? Just scroll like Instagram or TikTok videos, right? And read the comments about, men saying how women are this and that, and women saying how men are this and that. Who brings more to the table? Who has it harder? Who's more capable? It's this constant subtle war that's happening, and it's honestly ruining our relationships before they even begin. So what this unattractive habit is I would just call it competing energy. And I'm just gonna talk about this from the women's side here, but so many women will often bring this energy of like, I need to one-up you in this relationship. And I'm just gonna tell you as your loving big sister that you are not going to get the type of relationship you want when that is the energy you bring. It's only going to make you feel frustrated and alone. Now, let me tell you something that is so important, okay? Remember this. Competing with a man triggers his masculine fight instinct, not his masculine protect instinct. If you want to be cherished, adored, given princess treatment, pursued, which side do you want to pull from? The protect and provide instinct, obviously. But being competitive with him will turn that protect instinct off and get his fighter side going, right? So if you want that loving masculine energy from a man, all I'm saying is that you constantly come at him with this competing energy, one-upping energy, you are going to trigger that fighter instinct, not the protect instinct. And the things that you're doing might be so subtle. This isn't just yelling or being aggressive. This can show up as always needing to win an argument, always needing to have the last word, always needing to prove that you're smarter than him, or trying to always test him or one-up him, or just having that low-key vibe of like, I can do everything better than you. You better earn your place here. Or even worse, women are just better than men. Healthy masculine men are not looking for a rival. And this kind of energy can kill polarity and attraction. Now, personally, I've never had that like, oh, men suck mentality. That's not me. But I did grow up with only older brothers, no sisters. And if anyone else grew up with only older brothers, then you know that there is kind of an energy that you have to kind of pull from that like, hey, I have to prove myself. Hey, I can keep up with you. Hey, I'm smart too. I'm tough too. I can do this better than you. And there's this subtle competition a little bit. You learn to be one of the guys sometimes. But that energy didn't serve me in my relationships. That was something that I had to unlearn. And I noticed that there were times, it was very subtle, but there were times where I would trigger my husband's natural fight instinct, not my husband's natural protect instinct. But once you lean into your feminine energy and fully embody and fully believe that there is nothing for me to prove, that I am just worthy as I am. My worth is inherent. I don't need to compete with you. I don't need to beat you at something or prove that I'm smarter than you or something to feel seen and respected. I don't need to compete with you to feel seen and respected. And when you drop this subtle competitive mentality, you stop triggering his fight instinct and you start triggering his protect instinct. And here's the thing, if you keep treating dating like a battle that you need to win, then you are going to attract very passive men, because that's how polarity works. And if you think that all men suck, guess what kind of man you are going to attract? The one that proves you right. So if you want him to feel that real attraction for you, you can't keep triggering that fight instinct. You need to trigger that protect instinct, right? That's the one that's going to give you the relationship you probably want. And the only way that you do this is understanding your power as a feminine woman and not trying to constantly compete against him and one up him, right? You need to be able to see your own value as a feminine woman and also see his different and unique value as a masculine man. They are different. They are both beautiful. One is not better than the other, but you need to see your value. You need to see your inherent and unique worth. You need to understand that your power as a woman just comes from your energy, your ability to lean back and attract, not chase. Your power is not in the typical dominance that we see in today's modern world. I mean, to think about it, there's this video going around on the internet right now where this guy's complaining about how men have to often swipe 200 times just to get a coffee date. And you know what? That's because it's just the way that it is. Women are naturally the choosier sex. This is how it is just biologically. This is how it is with almost every animal species. This is just the way that it is. This is a part of our inherent feminine power. Women have to be choosier. It's just the way that it is. I mean, obviously in relationships, we both choose each other, but you know what I mean. All I'm trying to say is that the more you lean into your own feminine energy and stop trying to compete with him, that is when you will turn on more of that protect instinct. Now, I'm sure you noticed already, but all of these habits kind of go back to the same kind of woman. A woman who is in her masculine energy, especially her wounded masculine energy. And when you are a woman living from wounded masculine energy, what you are going to attract is a partner who is in their wounded feminine energy. That is just how polarity works. So if you want to get more in touch with your feminine energy, first of all, I do have tons of videos on here about that, but also I do have my deep dive feminine energy course and also some other digital products on my website. So if you need the support, it's there. But let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments below. I would love to hear them. But if you enjoyed this video, I think you're really gonna like this one. If you want to take it a little bit, go a little spicier, this is The Art of Subtle Seduction. I highly recommend it if you haven't watched this one yet. It's a popular one. So I will see you over here, or I'll just see you next time in my next video. Bye.